Imagine this, a peaceful night in Punjab, families asleep in their homes, villages resting in silence, and then a roar like thunder. The river swells, the walls of water break, and within minutes, life is swept away. This is not a scene from a movie. This is the horrifying reality of the 2025 floods in Pakistan, a disaster so brutal that it drowned cities, stole lives, and even tore apart the silence of the dead. In Multan, roads turned into rivers. People screamed from rooftops as muddy waves crashed into their homes. In Jalalpur Pirwala, entire streets vanished. Mothers clutched their children. Fathers fought the water with bare hands. But the flood was merciless. And in Shujabad, more than 50 villages disappeared. Crops worth billions were destroyed. Cotton, wheat, rice, all gone in hours. The land that once fed millions now lies buried under endless water. But the most chilling tragedy was not the homes lost, it was what happened to the graveyards. The flood surged through villages, ancient graves cracked open. Families stood in shock as coffins floated like broken boats. From centuries-old burial grounds, bodies surfaced, carried away by furious waves. One eyewitness in Multan said, "We lost everything. But when we saw the dead rising from their graves, we realized the flood had stolen even our ancestors." Others wept as they tried to hold on to the remains of loved ones. Volunteers and villagers worked day and night, trying to recover the bodies with respect. But many, many were lost forever in the raging waters. This was not just a flood. It was a wound on the soul of a nation. The 2025 flood shattered records of the last 100 years. Over 1.8 million people displaced. Entire families wiped out. Hundreds of lives lost in a single week. And for the first time in living memory, graveyards destroyed on such a scale. It was a disaster so massive that even the strongest hearts trembled. Army, Navy, and rescue workers rushed in. Boats carried survivors through what once were streets. Helicopters dropped food to families stranded on rooftops. International help came from China, Turkey, the UN, and global NGOs. But how do you heal a nation where children saw dead bodies floating beside them? How do you comfort a father who lost not only his home, but the graves of his ancestors? This flood was not just a disaster. It was a warning, a reminder that climate change is no longer a distant threat. It is here, it is real, and it is merciless. Pakistan cried in 2025. The living wept, the dead were disturbed, and history wept. Remember this tragedy as one of the darkest chapters in our land. If you believe these stories must be told, if you believe the world must not forget, then please subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us raise awareness, helps us share the truth, and helps us stand with those who suffer. Together, we can make sure their pain is not forgotten.